To see so many people come out on what's turned out to be a really beautiful day. My name is Victor Garcia. I'm the president and CEO of the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana, and I'm so excited to be here at Faith Farms to discuss about our partnership and to celebrate what we're going to be working on over the next 3 years in a ceremonial seed planting ceremony. I do want to make sure that we are respectful of your time and of all of our very important partner times that are going to say a few words. So at this time, I do want to give an opportunity for some of our key partners that are partners of the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana, as well as partners of Faith Farms, a chance to say a few comments about working with the Food Bank, working with Faith Farms, and the importance of projects like our seed planting ceremony today and the impact it has on the city of Gary and our neighbors here in Northwest Indiana. So at this time, I'm going to invite Congressman of the 1st District, Frank Mervan, to say a few words. Congressman.
So first I'm Frank Mervan, your member of Congress. Today is a great day in the city of Gary. It's a great day for the faith community to invest in the city of Gary, and it's a great day and a collaborative effort with the city, state, and federal government, and also Pastor Whitaker. So why I think that's vitally important is I want to thank the Northwest Indiana Food Bank for their investment of $425,000, which is more than a dollar figure. It's an investment in the city of Gary and belief that when we come together, we can make a difference. And so when we're doing that, we have to take and understand the community that we're in and what that means to them. So when we're able to utilize this farm and these vegetables and this fruit to be able to help people and to be able to earn money and to be able to have an impact in the community, I think that's vitally important. And when I was talking to Frida, who is so very proud of what she has done here, we all need to give Frida a round of applause for what she's done and her investment. But when I was talking to Frida, she mentioned one focal point: food is medicine. One of the things that they are going to do with what we see growing here is be able to help change people's lives, work with hospitals, work with doctors in a city that may have and may need that type of assistance. If you have diabetes, you're able to get fresh fruits and vegetables that are frozen by something that was given by the Northwest Indiana Food Bank. And that collaborative effort is something that we need to do and we need to highlight in the city of Gary, because great things are happening. And so my job as a member of Congress is to make sure that when Victor calls and the executive board calls, to make sure they have the funding necessary, that I advocate and I push and I put my name on legislation to make sure food insecurity bills receive money so that it comes back full force, not only to Northwest Indiana, but to the city of Gary, so that we can make these types of differences. So today is a celebration of what we can all do together to be able to make an impact for residents who are in need, for food, for nutrition, and be able to turn that around. And for Curtis Whitaker to have a vision as a pastor to make an impact in his community. You know, as we often say, or we often hear, pastors, it's just not on Sundays that your work begins. It's all week long, 24 hours a day. This is an indication of that you care, that you want to make a difference, and you want to make sure that people who are facing food insecurity are turning the table and be able to make an impact on that. So all of you who are here, who contributed, participated, I thank you. And it gives me the inspiration to go back to Washington, D.C., to make sure we continue to fund projects like this so we can make an impact in our community. I thank all of you, and let's celebrate the seed ceremony and do our very best today. Thank you.
We get the watering can there.
A watering can.
So thank you, Frank, and we appreciate that. I do want to mention that the Congressman is critical to our success at the food bank. Most of our inventory that's supporting our friends and neighbors in Lake and Porter counties is coming through USDA commodities, specifically from the Farm Bill, which is something that's up for debate at the moment. So having a champion coming from our home area down in Washington to champion our needs and our community is critical. So thank you, Frank, for that support. At this time, I'd like to introduce Indiana State Representative, District 14, Dr. Vernon Smith.
Allow me to begin by giving reverence to God and then to honor our mayor who's here, our congressman who's here, my colleagues here, the township officials, the city officials, all those persons who have stepped up and put their names on the ballot and said, we want to serve this community, not to be servants, but to serve. And so I salute all of them who have joined me in this effort to be of service to God's people. I'm here because I think this is a great moment for Gary. Everybody who's well advised know that Gary not only is in a health deficit, but is in a food deficit. And we have great problems. And as the congressman indicated, those two things are linked together. So I see this as the beginning of a bright new future. And I want to just talk about Curtis for a moment. Reverend Whitaker and I have been friends for a long time. He didn't make the mistake of joining that red and white group. He joined that purple and gold group, the greatest fraternity that ever existed anywhere in the world, Charlie Brown, anywhere in the world. And I met him as an undergraduate. At that time, I was a district representative. I was in charge of 5 states in the United States for my fraternity. And even then, I could see the leadership skills in Curtis Whitaker. Our fraternity at that time had the top grades of all the fraternities on the IU campus, and it was because of people like Curtis Whitaker that was there. And so I saw those skills, and he has been running this race for a long time. The word says that we should write the vision and make it plain so those who come can carry it. Well, he has been communicating his vision for a long time, and we've seen the fruits of his efforts. I want to commend him and all of the people who are part of this faith effort. They have the key because they're putting the person who makes all things possible out in front. And with that, I'm sure that they're going to be a tremendous success as they have been in the past. And I just want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for including me in this process. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Representative. And at this time, I'd like to bring up one of my friends. Can't say enough words about the impact that State Representative Mike Andrade has had on shining a light on the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana at the state level, bringing the Lieutenant Governor multiple times to our organization to see the impact that we're having. It's been a really critical partnership, and I wanted to give him an opportunity to say a few words.
Well, it's an honor to be here, not only as a state representative that we work in the State House with my colleague, Dr. Vernon Smith, to make sure that funding comes to the food bank and that funding comes to all of our communities, especially our Black and brown communities. A lot of times they don't get represented well. So it's an honor to be here, and also as your neighbor. I always said this: if Gary is successful, Munster is successful. If Munster is successful, Gary is successful. We all have to work as a team, and we all have to collaborate, because at the end of the day, it affects all of our communities. So thank you to Victor for the invitation and for the work that he does with the food bank. Reverend Whitaker, the vision that he has put into now fruition, that has come into play here today, that is going to be able to help our communities. I'll say something very brief. I grew up very poor. My parents came as immigrants to this community in our country. And I remember several times going to bed with an empty stomach because we didn't have the means to be able to have a meal in our table. And I thought it was normal. Growing up, you think it's normal. Once you grow up, it's not normal. And the initiative that is happening here today is going to be able to make sure that our children don't go to bed without an empty stomach. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. I will continue to be an advocate downstate to make sure that funding comes in to our food bank and other initiatives, because it all is a team effort. Where the funding comes in now we have funding to be able to help Faith Farms. And we could be able to replicate this in other communities. We'll be able to help all of us because we're on all of this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. At this time, look, we're in the home city, so I'm really excited to have Mayor Jerome come and say a few words about the partnership here. Mayor, thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you to everyone for being out this morning. The speakers before me said it best. Efforts like this are what identify and help a community continue to grow. Pastor Whitaker, I can't say enough about you. Your vision started with you planning your church here. And everyone knows that your family and all of your parishioners are the closest thing to you. And the fact that you guys have stepped up to take a part in rebuilding the community speaks volumes. That, to me, is the essence of what starts the beginning of communities. From there, your vision led into Faith Farms, and certainly we are seeing the works of your continued efforts today. And so, on behalf of the city and all of its elected officials, I want to say thank you. I want to tell you that we appreciate you, but I certainly can't mention or not mention the efforts of the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana. Your partnership, certainly your contributions to the city are appreciated, and we want to let you know that on behalf of all of our residents, we want to continue our partnership and see it grow from there. I think I do need to mention other elected officials that may or may not have an opportunity to speak. Some of my colleagues who help make this a great place as well. President of the Council, Councilman Godwin, the Township Trustee Kimberly Robinson, County Assessor, my successor, Latanya Spearman, and of course, Councilman of the County Council District, Charlie Brown. Once again, Pastor and Faith Farms and Food Bank, thank all of you. And Congressman, thank you, sir. You're leading the charge as a true leader often does, and it's been a tremendous joy to continue to work with you. Thank you very much.
So I'm really excited to share that earlier this year, the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana partnered with the City of Gary to launch a new street outreach program, identifying individuals experiencing homelessness and making sure that they have a thoughtful meal and a bag of snacks to get them through the day. And our team's been out 5 days a week providing that service on the streets of Gary, and we're happy to be able to do that for the foreseeable future. At this time, I'd like to introduce Gary City Council President William Godwin.
Thank you, Pastor Whitaker, and thank you to Progressive Community Church and Faith Farms. One of my big constituents, Ms. Rita Graves, is the reason that a lot of this exists, and you see her out here working every day. And it is that kind of energy that is grassroots, bottom up, that will help turn this city around. And so I'm truly excited about this partnership with the food bank, and I know we're going to do even more because we've already started talking with Pastor Whitaker. Hope I'm not saying too much about what we can do working with the administration in terms of the American Rescue Plan Act, which, as all of you probably know by now, is a transformative piece of legislation for which we are very thankful to our very own Congressman Mervan and President Biden. Let's give both of them a round of applause. One of the categories of approved expenditures in the American Rescue Plan Act is public health. And we certainly know that access to quality food, especially vegetables and high nutrition foods, is very important. And as has already been said, it's often missing within our community and so many communities like ours around this state and country. And so I'm looking forward to working with Faith Farms and other similar nonprofits to see what we can do in terms of our ARPA dollars to help boost what is already happening here today. Thanks again for this opportunity, and we look forward to the continued partnership with all the players at the table. Thank you.
Okay, so you heard it here first. I heard ARPA dollars. Everybody else heard that, right? So that makes sure we hold them to that. At this time, I had an opportunity to talk to the councilman a little bit ago. I've been following the councilman's career from afar for quite a while, and have just always been impressed for his servant leadership in our communities, impacting not just Northwest Indiana, but the state as a whole. Lake County Councilman, 3rd District, Charlie Brown.
Good morning, everyone. Much has been said, so I will do exactly as Elizabeth Taylor did with her last 6 husbands. I will not keep you long. Earlier you heard Dr. Smith make a reference to some colors of purple and gold and red and white. There's a battle been going on for 100 years about which one of those two fraternities is the greatest. I'll let you be the judge of that by virtue of seeing the membership of each one of them. Reverend Whitaker, boy oh boy, Reverend Whitaker, this is a phenomenal man from what he has done and what he plans to do with a piece of barren land that's right here in Gary. And this could happen all over the city of Gary and all over the state of Indiana and the county of Lake. I will do my part to make sure that this is successful and that it can be replicated throughout Lake County and the state of Indiana. The Northwest Indiana Food Bank, I mean, it's unreal, the advances that have been made by both. And we should not forget that they can always use assistance, and we should, in every way we possibly can, assist them. The councilman mentioned the ARC funds. They're plentiful, and we should make sure that they are used appropriately and properly and service the most people that they can serve. I will do that in the county if I can. Let me back up a bit. I spent 36 years in the Indiana General Assembly, and in the earlier years, we were able to achieve a lot by not being so contentious or dug in with our respective interests. I got out of there at the right time because it is bonkers down there now in terms of working together. And so that was 100 that I worked with there, and it's much easier to work with 7 in the county. And believe you me, I'm going to look out for my district, which is basically the eastern side of the state. And you can count on that. But we need to get people involved and interested in what is going on outside of this gate here. We need to say and stop letting people talk badly about the city of Gary. Gary is our home, and we should be proud of it. We should do everything we possibly can to make sure that Gary is successful. I will do that. I pledge to you here and all these cameras around here, I'm on record in saying I will do whatever it takes to make sure that Gary is successful. Let me drop down a bit. I will do whatever it takes to make sure that the Northwest Indiana Food Bank is successful. And finally, I will do whatever it takes to make sure that Reverend Whitaker, even though he has on the wrong colors today, I'll make sure that he is successful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Councilman. At this time, we'd like to ask Lake County Assessor Latanya Spearman to join us for a few words. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity to be here and to speak today. Thank you all for coming out. This morning, I was listening to a program, and they used the terminology "digging in the dirt" to empower. And even though they were speaking figuratively, I thought, what a wonderful way, such a fitting way to describe the work that Pastor Whitaker and Faith Farms is doing here. Not only are they providing access to fresh food that folks may not otherwise have, they are educating our youth about agriculture from both a business and farming perspective. So I think that's a wonderful effort by Pastor Whitaker and his team here, and I really applaud them and commend them for all of their efforts. I want to say that the grant that continue to do my part to support Pastor Whitaker and his team and all of their efforts, and I look forward to working with each of you and doing the same. So thank you.
And now here in the 3rd District, I'd like to ask our friend State Senator Eddie Melton to say a few words.
Good morning. First, I want to thank the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana. I want to thank Pastor Curtis Whitaker and Faith Farms for always doing a phenomenal job. When we talk about fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and just having a healthy way of living, it impacts every facet of our life. It impacts the way we think, the way we feel, the way we engage in our community. So initiatives like this continues to add value to the community. So it's always going to take local, state, and federal partnerships to help support organizations that's always trying to provide the basic human needs. Everyone, every single person that's on this earth, in this community, deserves fresh food, fresh fruit, and from a quality soil. And this organization continues to produce that. So not only to the pastor, but all of the volunteers, all of the youth that come out to this farm to participate, to teach them about agriculture is extremely valuable and important. So whatever we can do from a state level, you have our commitment and support. And I want to thank all my colleagues that's here as well. So once again, thank you.
And now up next, again in the home turf here, Calumet Township Trustee Kim Robinson.
I'm not going to belabor the moment. I'm just going to say Pastor Curtis knows that at the Calumet Township Trustee's office, we are here for it. We've come on every second Thursday, Tuesday, third Thursday, right, for the last 3 months to purchase the bags of the fresh food to table, farm to table for constituents in our area, and we're going to keep doing it as long as it helps the community. And Pastor Whitaker, we thank you so much, and you can always count on us at the Calumet Township Trustee's office for anything that you need. Thank you. And
So many of you may be aware of this, but the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana is a member of the Feeding America network of food banks, 200 food banks strong across the United States. The funding that is supporting this joint project is coming from Feeding America's Food Security Equity Impact Fund. And I'm very excited that we have Feeding America's Chief Equity Officer, Amy McReynolds, with us today, not only because she represents our partnership at Feeding America, but she's also one of our own, being a Northwest Indiana resident. So at this time, Amy McReynolds.
Good morning, everyone. It warms my heart to be here today as a representative of Feeding America. We are 200 strong across this country, and I'm so excited about the work that the food bank is doing and Pastor Curtis right here in my hometown of Gary, Indiana. This work is an inspiration. We were able to provide funding, almost $9.7 million, to 25 different communities over this past June, including Gary, Indiana, and including Faith Farms. And so we're really excited to learn, to put people who are facing hunger at the center of the work that we do, to not be paternalistic. And it takes all of the commitments that you are all making from the front lines, through our representatives, through corporate partners and supporters of this work. I'm wearing orange because September is Hunger Action Month. We've got the White House Conference on Hunger, Nutrition, and Health happening next week. Action is happening here today. Be a part of the action that will continue through the rest of the month. Thank you.
I'm so glad that Amy mentioned Hunger Action Month. We're in the last week of it. You'll notice I'm also wearing orange as well, and I know a few of the team at the food bank are wearing orange as well. Please take this opportunity to focus on the hunger that our friends and neighbors in our community are experiencing, and engage, whether it's here at Faith Farms or with the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana, by either donating your treasure or, more importantly, donating your time. We had between 6,000 and 7,000 individuals cross our door to volunteer their time to help us serve the nearly 600,000 Northwest Indiana residents the food bank is supported each year. We normally put out around 9 million pounds of food, and we can only do that when we have great partnerships like we have with Faith Farms. So it is just so exciting that we have this project, and I'm so humbled to be in the presence of such a great man, Pastor Curtis Whitaker.
9 years ago, God gave us a vision. That vision God gave us was to know where our food comes from. 9 years ago, I knew nothing about growing food, knew nothing about farming. I had a black thumb and growing and literal black thumbs, but I knew nothing about growing food 9 years ago. God told us there's going to be a famine in the land. We need to know where our food comes from, and that's why we started growing. Where you're standing and where you're sitting at, there used to be abandoned houses on this property where you're at now. That was 9 years ago. We fast forward 9 years later, and we grow 15,000 pounds of food every year. It doesn't happen without great partners like Victor. Victor and I haven't known each other for a very long time, but our visions are similar. And we sat down because people connected us. We sat down and we both shared what vision and strategy we have and said, let's work together for the best of Gary, for the best of Northwest Indiana. And because of that partnership, we're here today. We're here today, thank you, Amy, with the $425,000 grant from Feeding America through our partnership with the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana. I'll tell you, we've gotten another $75,000 for this initiative already. For this initiative, our goal is to raise $3 to $5 million for this initiative. Some of you might be asking, what in the world is this initiative? Ain't none of y'all talked about it. So let me share with you what's getting ready to happen. This initiative that we're calling Faith Fresh Frozen Foundation gives us the ability to take these collard greens that you see behind me. I don't know about y'all, but I love me some collard greens. And it gives us the ability before they spoil, because once we harvest them, they have a shelf life that is very short. And so it gives us the ability to take these greens, or to take those Brussels sprouts, or to take those tomatoes, or any other things that we have out here, and to flash freeze it. So we're going to take an old building down the street, 576 Carolina Street. If any of you will want to stick around with us, we're going to go on a tour, and we're going to share more of the vision that we have. But that building down the street is going to be changed. That's going to be where we place all of our equipment. Thanks to Amy, we have about $150,000 worth of equipment that we're going to purchase, from freezers to chillers to the things that we need to do to flash freeze food. And then we're going to take that flash frozen food, we're going to bag it. We're going to put labels on it. We're going to give 20% of it to Victor so that they can continue to eradicate hunger here in Gary and in Northwest Indiana. And the other 80% of it is a micro business, social enterprise. Because we believe one of the ways that you lift yourself up out of poverty is to have employment, to have a job. And the only way to do that is to put people to work. So part of this grant gives us the ability to hire some people. Right where you're sitting is the Emerson neighborhood of Gary. Median household income in my neighborhood, this is where I grew up at. That's why it's so important to me. I grew up on 7th in Kentucky, 4 blocks away from here. It's a church I grew up in as a kid since 10 years old. I'm 50. I've been here 40 years. It's important to me in my neighborhood. $13,000 median household income in Emerson. They gave us the ability with this grant to hire some people part-time that pays $20,000. So we want to be able to lift the economics in this neighborhood. Not only that, thank you. Not only that, we believe in and black and brown people the ability to work. So 100% of the people that do the work, the contractors on that job, Sharon Johnson is one of them. She's one of the only African American female general contractors in the state of Indiana. She'll be working on that project. Everybody on that project that will work will look like me and look like the people in this neighborhood. We believe that's important. Because if we want to move our city forward, it takes all of us. That's why we've invited everybody out today. Because we all got to come together, from federal to state to county to local to township to churches to nonprofit organizations. We have to all come together. And if we do that, not if, when we do that, so this is God's vision for us. When we do that, we'll see neighborhood by neighborhood begin to change. And it starts with us. This is a faith movement for us. We believe the faith community has something to share that's very valuable and very important, and that's love. And we can share that with everyone and make change that you see here. These tomatoes, these collards, that okra over there, those watermelons over there, those chickens and goats. Yes, somebody said, did I see some goats over there? Yeah, you saw some goats. And you heard the chickens, you heard the rooster crow. But all of that is because of partners like Victor and the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana. It's because of partners like Amy McReynolds and Feeding America. I don't see Kelly here. Kelly Ano, who's now the president and CEO of the Legacy Foundation. She believed in my crazy visions and crazy dreams before any other folks got on board with us. And I want to give a big shout out to the Legacy Foundation because they've been huge partners with us in moving this forward. My friends are here, like Amy. Where you at, Amy? There she is. She's the president of Cal College. They've been with us on this ride for a long time. Thank you, Amy. Friends are here from Indiana University Northwest. Where's Ellen? There's Ellen and others who are here from Pure. They've been rocking with us for a long time, along with Indiana University, Bloomington, and Frank, who wasn't able to make it today. But we've had tremendous partners along this journey, and this ain't the end. This is only the beginning. Today we celebrate. Tomorrow we go to work, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done right here. And I'm thankful for all of these folks from Progressive Community Church who believed in the vision of their pastor and didn't just believe in it, but they also put their feet where their faith was. And they began to walk this thing out with me. And so I thank you all for walking it out with us. Sylvester Kaysen here. Raise your hand, Deacon Kaysen. He has an electrical company called FAMCO. His company is going to do all the electrical work on the building. We need to have black folk in Gary working on projects that we control. I'll say it again. We need to have black folk in Gary working on projects that we control. One more time for those in the back. We need to have black people in Gary working on projects that we control. Now, Amy and her group has given us funding. Linda and Mike Muslim, they supported us with, some of you have seen our mobile food stand. They bought it for us. They're the ones who've given us another $75,000. In fact, they've given us $125,000, with $75,000 of it going towards this. They're from Gary. They live in California, but they have a heart. And so our goal here is to raise $5 million for Fresh Frozen. We have almost 550,000, and so we need some more. Councilman, thank you for sharing your support. Mayor, I'm gonna tip over. We need your support, Mayor, with ARPA funds in this initiative. Councilman, we need your support. Senator, we need your support. Congressman, I thank you that the Congressman has written us letters for the things that we've done, and we thank you for that. Representatives, we need your support. Thank you, Trustee, for supporting the efforts that we do on third Thursdays with what's called Community Supported Agriculture, CSA boxes. Thank you for your support. But we need your support, not just a pat on the back. We need some money. Amen. If we're going to continue to do this work, she's been volunteering in this work for 6 years. Volunteer. I've been volunteering in this work. I don't get any money out of this. It's a vision from God. Shame on me if I don't do what God tells me to do. I'm in trouble. And I don't want to be in trouble with God. But we need, because we're growing, we need money. We need capital in order to make this grow in the way that God intends for it to grow. And I believe in each of you. And I believe that you're able to help us achieve and get to the place where this needs to be, where we can do what we did this summer, where we had 30 young people. They worked 10 hours a week. Each of them made $15 an hour. My 10-year-old made $15 an hour, 10 hours a week. He said he was balling. But we can do that. Nobody stops it but us. And it's time for us to get out of our own way and come together to make the city of Gary what it needs to be. Thank you.
See why we were excited to partner with Pastor Whitaker and Faith Farms, but honestly, the reason why all of these fine folks came to speak on behalf of this project is things like this don't happen without partnership. Partnership at the local level, partnership with our elected officials that truly believe in supporting our community. Truly believe in supporting our community, and I am so thankful that we have such a strong delegation of public servants serving our community here in Northwest Indiana. So I thank all of you. In commemoration of today, we have a plaque to be put up in the building once the building's ready to go. And for those that may not know, this is about a 3-year project for us, so it's going to take a little bit of time. So please give us some grace when you're driving by and you're looking to see where we're at. But we have a plaque here that says it's dedicated to our collaboration to expand programming and creation of a freezing operation to extend the useful life of fresh produce grown on an urban farm. This is the seed planting on September 26th between the Food Bank and Faith Farms. And this is for you, Pastor. And you'll see that we have a trowel to plant seeds that will be displayed at the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana in Maryville. But once you plant the seed, you have to cultivate. And so our partner at Faith Farms is going to have the matching cultivator to have here at Faith Farms. Thank you, Pastor Whitaker. I truly appreciate you. I'd shake your hand, but you got the handful. There you go. At this time, I'm going to ask all of our speakers if you'd come up behind the box here, and we are going to ceremoniously plant the seeds for this project today.
This ceremony is, we're calling Seeds of Change, because we believe that everything starts with the seed. Everything starts with the seed. Sister Frida's going to lead you all. Yeah, she's going to lead you all. We're going to plant seeds at a time.
Everybody just gather around and just grab any trowel that you want. And then you're going to dig on the same time. And then we're going to get the seeds. And then grab any trowel that you need.
And then if I can make sure, oh, yep.
Planting seeds of change
We come all the way around.
in our community, seeds of change
All the way around.
in our neighborhood. You're taking the seed. This seed is a seed of change, which means that change is getting ready to happen right here, right now. And when you plant these seeds in the ground, the one good thing about seeds is that God does what God does with the seeds when they get in the ground. And so you're planting seeds, not just physical seeds, but these are seeds of change that are going to happen here in life.
Step up, Curtis.
So thank you. for coming. Anybody else? Everybody around? Have everybody? All right, let me get one.
And I will put the cheese in.
Let me get one.
Come on, Curtis.
All right, here we go.
Come on, go all the way around.
Go all the way around. All right.
You can get in between the mayor and
Right there. All right. Here we go. All right. So instead of having a groundbreaking ceremony, because that's what we often do, we're going to have a seed sowing ceremony. So get your seed in your hand. I need everybody to get a seed in their hand. These packets have seeds in them. Get your seed in your hand.
There we go. You only need a couple of seeds. There we go.
And then we're going to affirm these seeds. Before you plant them, let's affirm them.
Amen.
Let's affirm these seeds. You got some, real? Let's affirm these seeds. Before you plant them, let's affirm them. You don't have to go too deep. Seeds know how to go in the ground. Repeat after me. This is my seed.
This is my seed.
I did not deserve it.
I did not deserve it.
But God
so
graciously
graciously
provided it unto me. Therefore, I will sow my seed.
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 In obedience,
Obedience.
God's word,
God's word.
and in expectation
expectation
of the harvest.
of the harvest.
Let's sow. And now you can take these with you as a souvenir that you have sown a seed with us, and we're all believing and expecting a harvest to come because of the seeds that have been sown.
If I can get everyone to grab, make sure you have your trowel, and we want to do a few pictures. Visitors,